Hello everybody, my name is Ken and today I'm going to be showing you Assignment 3. Assignment 3 deals with form validation, regular expressions, PHP, all that good fun stuff. So let's get started. Here's my form. Okay, so here we go. Doc type, typical. The head is typical, all jQuery, Ajax, Bootstrap, my custom CSS, and my custom JavaScript with title of Assignment 3. Coming in, we have our body here. We have just a regular container, the form, or the header for the form, and then we have this div here. If you notice, you won't see it, and that is because I hid it. So if you look at the CSS, I have the error div hidden, display none, which doesn't have any effect on the layout of the page. There's no space here. It's just completely gone. Doesn't exist. Okay. So it's form group. This is for user, for the first name ID, and then we have here type input for text, form control. ID is first. ID is for JavaScript. Name is for PHP. First, and this is going to be the same thing throughout the whole form, basically. So last name, last, email address, email, phone number, ID, phone number. You get the idea. City. ID, city, name, city, zip, ID, zip, state, and if you look here, we have all the states listed out. Just hide these, makes it way better looking. We have the checkbox for the terms and agreement and services and whatever else, and then the button with submit. I was making a little mistake. I had it set as a button, which was not doing anything. So yeah, that's for the submit, and there's the end of the form, end of the container, end of the body, end of HTML. So let's look at CSS real quick. Body to make the web page bigger, just for visual, and then error display none. I already explained that. Okay. So here is the document ready function jQuery classic. Some classic stuff right here. So what this is saying, on the form ID of form, on the ID of form, when submit happens, do these things. So basically what this is saying is it's going to take in all of these variables, and whatever value is in the ID that I put in there, that's what's going to be these variables' names. So for example, if I type in Ken on first name, where are we at? If I type in Ken, this would be Ken. So then JavaScript would set first to Ken. That's because of the value method or function right there. That's the same thing for first name, last name, email, phone number, city, zip, state. So now this is the regular expressions for validating. So basically, for the name pattern, you can put in anything but a blank string. You can't put in blank string. You need to put a name. Your name could be 1, 2, 3, 4, as far as I care, but you can't put in a blank string. So for the email pattern, what this is saying is it has to be any character, lowercase or uppercase, of any amount. That's what the star means. And then it could be any number or anything. So basically any number or any digit at any letter dot any letter. Yeah. So this is the phone pattern. This is a long one. Let me see. Oh, that's actually for... So what this is saying is basically it has to start with any... This is the first option I have in there. It has to start with any digit 0 to 9, and there has to be 10 digits. So that's just for the standard, just typing it in. Nothing going on there. I'm actually going to copy paste this and type out which types of phone numbers it'll take. 732, 111, 222, 3. And that should work. Well, this is supposed to work. I'm going to pretend that... Oh, there we go. That was why. Okay. So basically, these are the different types of validations that my code will catch. And that's all of them. That's the only ones I coded for. So we have your standard straightforward nothing. We have your separation by dashes. We have your space in between the area code and the number, and then we have your straight no spaces, brackets around the area code. So that's that for the phone number. That's probably the trickiest one. Zip pattern we have coming in has to be any digit of the number 5. Well, any 5 digits basically is what that says. And then we have a dash, and then optionally any 4 digits for area codes that are extended. The state pattern is saying it has to start with either upper or lowercase letter, and it can be any amount. And then we have a little pipe here for the states like New Jersey that have a space in it, so it has to be any letter of any amount, space, any letter of any amount. And it's the same thing for the city pattern. And then the error is just a blank string. So going into the if statements, if name pattern dot test equals first. So basically saying if this name pattern is true, which it shouldn't be, then give an error. So this is going to give an error of please enter a valid first name, and I change the label first name. If you look here, label ID first name, this is going to change to red. So if I put this in wrong, it's actually all going to light up. But yeah, so that's what happens when you submit a totally invalid form. It'll say, please enter a valid name, last name, email address, phone number, city, valid zip, valid state. And all of these light up. I'm like, hey, what are you doing? Fill something in. Moving on. Same thing with the name pattern. It's exactly the same as for the first name and the last name. So now the email is saying if this is not true, then give an error. So if this regular expression is not true, give an error. And that's the same with the phone pattern. If this regular expression is not true, give an error. City pattern, I had a little trouble with this one before, but I had to take out the exclamation point. So it's saying if city pattern test is true, well, I had an exclamation point before like that, and I couldn't get it to validate. And when I remove the exclamation point, everything works just fine. So that's why that happens. So same thing with the zip. If the zip does not match the zip pattern, then enter error. And I had the same issue with the state. I couldn't get the state to work until I took out the exclamation point. Not 100% sure why, but that's why we're in this class. So moving on, this is the final if statement. So this is saying if the error length does not equal 0, so optimistically, after submitting this form, the error should still be blank. So if the error length does not equal 0, that means we have an error. So what you have to do is this line, this is just for entering the span of the error, the text basically. So this is saying empty the error if there was already an error, so you can't just stack the screen with 1,000 errors. So it'll only allow for one error to pop up at a time. This right here, so what this does is it changes the error div's CSS to display in block form. If you remember, originally it's display none, so this will change to block, and you'll be able to see the error message. It's actually this right here. This goes into block. If you refresh, it's completely gone. The magic of jQuery. And yeah, so if there is an error, basically create this span, create the error, and close the span. Put this inside the div, and that's really it for the JavaScript. And now onto the PHP. So this is basically saying print. It's a very standard print statement. And then PHP is going to get the name first from the HTML, from the forms. So For example, if I type in Ken in the first name form, if you look right here, you'll see the name, which is similar to an ID for PHP. It'll be first. So whatever value you're putting in as first, so this would be the value that gets read in. So it's taking that from the form, get that, get that. What this means is this is just a line break to get to display nicely. So basically it's just taking in all of the variables from the HTML and printing it out in PHP form for like the server or whatever. And then this just prints out the date in this format, string to time. I did 20 hours because at the time it was the plus number that made the time almost exactly what time it is now. I'm not too familiar with PHP, so I don't really know, but this is pretty close. So let's take a look at a valid submission for a form. If I just fill in everything here, thanks to Google Chrome, submit. Oh, Jesus. Turns out that the state does not, neither of these validate, and I don't know why. I'm going to pause and find out. We're back, and I re-put the exclamation point in there. I don't know why it wasn't working before, but now it's fine. But to show you that it's correct, I'm going to bring it into Refiddle and type in some states and type in some cities. So put this in here, match all cases, blah, blah, blah. Let's type in some cities like North Brunswick. Everything works. Let's type in my hometown, Hazlitt. Let's type in my roommate's town, Homedale. Everything works. Let's test out some states. New Jersey. That all works. Let's see Utah. How about Texas? Maybe Alaska. Everything works fine. And the case that isn't supposed to work is select state, which it does not highlight. But for some reason, when I come into my assignment here and I select state, I can submit it just fine. But to show you that it does work, here's a regular expression for it. I don't know why it's not cooperating with my assignment. Could be something in the code. I don't know though. So yeah. So that's not supposed to happen. I just showed you that the regular expression should pick that up as it is in Refiddle. It's not highlighting this, but it's highlighting everything else. And it won't highlight something like that because that's not a valid state or anything. Okay. Don't know why that doesn't work. But yeah, so this is what a valid form should still look like when you submit it. We come in here, our PHP time is only a little bit off, 7 minutes off. And that's what everything looks like. So yeah, thank you for watching.